5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program.
From our About Space Today World Headquarters, I'm John Gomez. This week in space, an interview with Artemis II astronaut Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency. This and more next, as America and the world is listening to About Space Today.
D&D Cruise and Tours is the official agent for About Space, and we invite you to come fly away to all-inclusive resort island destinations, or a cruise vacation from Port Canaveral, and even visit the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, or just come and see the parks. Call for a discount cruise or an island getaway or the Florida beaches. Call today. The call is free, and so are our services. Call 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. We are Florida's group travel specialists.
Welcome back. Prior to the May 6th launch attempt of Boeing Starliner, I had the chance to sit down with Canadian Space Agency and Artemis II astronaut Jeremy Hansen. My first question for him, what made you want to become an astronaut?
Pretty simple for me. I saw an image of Neil Armstrong when I was a young Canadian, and it was inspiring for me. My mom tells me I was 5. I don't really remember, but I know I saw it in Encyclopedia A. I was going in there to look for airplanes, and I happened across Armstrong by mistake. I saw that image. I turned my treehouse into a spaceship, and I never really stopped imagining doing this job one day.
I then asked him what he felt when he found out he was chosen for the Artemis II mission.
Pretty excited, as it's a dream come true for me to explore space. I've been excited about leaving planet Earth. I love it here, but I've been really excited about leaving it and going to space and seeing the planet from that perspective. This is an extraordinary opportunity to be part of sending humanity back to the moon. This is just one step of many to do that, but it's an important step, of course, like they all are. But eventually, our efforts on this mission are going to enable boots on the moon, build a gateway space station, create an international collaboration to do more in space, to go further in space. I think this is extraordinarily important. Our contribution as a crew is pretty tiny compared to what's required overall from the team to make this possible. But it's a fun contribution. I'm enjoying the ride along the way. And so,
what was your family's reaction when they found out you'd be part of this historic mission?
They were super excited. Space exploration has been a big part of their lives, supporting me and pursuing this dream. I have 3 young adult children and my wife, and they've all been extraordinarily supportive along the way. But for them, this was them seeing me have this opportunity to achieve a lifelong goal. And they've been really excited for me. Of course, it's not lost on us that there's some risk involved. I had them here at the Cape just in March to show them, where they're going to be for launch, see the capsule, and where we'll spend some time together when we're in quarantine here. And but it was also a bit serious in that they were putting themselves in their future shoes and imagining the emotions that'll come along with watching their husband and father blast off on this enormous SLS rocket. And I don't know if you saw Artemis 1, but it leaves an impression.
Of all the aspects of this mission, which would you say that you're most looking forward to?
Definitely looking forward to seeing the Earth from space. It's obvious to me when I speak to my colleagues who've been, it has a profound impact on them. I don't think it teaches them anything new, but it is a profound human experience to see the Earth from space. Reed talks about it a lot. He's really excited to see my eyes and my smile when I see the planet from space for the first time. And so I know that'll be a really important and meaningful experience for me. But I've been really inspired myself by the reaction of people around the planet, how excited they are about humanity going back to the moon. And I have this sense that during Artemis II, we're not going to solve all the world problems, but we are going to make a positive contribution in sending back images of our planet taken with human hands. And I think we hope, even if just for a moment, people lift their heads up from all of the problems we have here on the planet, all the challenges we face, and just be reminded that we are one species working together on one planet, and we can do some really extraordinary things when we collaborate.
You're going to be the first Canadian to orbit the moon. What does this mission mean for all Canadians?
Canada will be the second country in the world to send a human into deep space. What does it mean for Canada? I think it's a huge compliment. I think Canadians are notorious for selling ourselves a little short, maybe keeping ourselves a little bit too small. We have extraordinary gifts to offer the world. And I always reflected back to American leadership for this opportunity. The United States could have gone to the moon on their own again. They've done it before. They have the GDP and the expertise to do it on their own, but they deliberately curated an international collaboration to tackle these problems. I think that's extraordinary leadership. I think that's the kind of leadership we need in the world. And Canadians rose to that challenge. And here we are again, bringing real value to the international space collaboration, delivering robotic solutions and other solutions for the lunar surface. And so I'm really proud to reflect that back to Canadians and just remind them, look, your contributions are appreciated on the world stage. Keep it up. Imagine what we can do next.
We're all here today for the same reason, the launch of Boeing Starliner. How was the Canadian Space Agency involved with the Boeing Starliner launch?
This, why we're here at the Kennedy Space Center right now, is a huge part of that future, getting ready to watch this first Boeing Starliner flight. First time we put humans on this rocket with Butch and Sunny. It's very meaningful for Canada. Josh Kutrick is going to be in mission control as the Ascent Capcom for this launch, supporting Butch and Sunny on the comm loops. And the next time this vehicle flies, he'll be on board, flying to the International Space Station. So Josh has been doing a lot of work with this extraordinary team, getting ready for this mission. Jenny Gibbons is backing up the crew on the Artemis II mission, so helping us get ready for that. And so, yeah, supporting them is a big part of what I want to do in the future.
Talking about the Artemis mission, you get to orbit the moon, something only a few humans in history can say that they've done. You do that, what comes next?
I think, it's just this is a human experience, and I'm just grateful for it. I'm not too worried about what's next, other than I do know what motivates me and gets me excited, and that is seeing huge teams of people come together and do extraordinary things. Space isn't the only place we do that, but it is one of the places we do that, and I will be motivated to continue to contribute in that vein. And this mission will be the icing on the cake for me with respect to an astronaut career. But I'm not done yet. I'd like to keep contributing going forward. I think there's a lot of value in space exploration for humanity. It doesn't solve all the problems, but it's definitely an area that we are making a positive contribution for the world. We need that.
Jeremy, last question. If you were offered the opportunity to go up on a future Artemis mission, would you take it?
Oh, no, there'd be no hesitation. I'd be excited to take on those challenges of future Artemis missions. But then there's a reality of this international collaboration and how we fairly allocate missions and who's flying when. And so I don't foresee, unless something changes, that I would be. We have a core of 4 active astronauts in Canada. We do have a future mission aboard a deep space flight that we negotiated as part of our Gateway contribution. But that's at a to-be-determined date in the future, and we'll just see. We'll keep doing what we're doing now. We'll keep delivering value, and I think the future is bright for Canadians. I can see a Canadian walking on the moon one day, but we have more work to do if we're going to do that, and we understand that. But we have the capability, and we also, at the Canadian Space Agency, we 100% see the return on investment for making investments in this Artemis architecture. There are challenges we face in our country, especially in our northern communities, with respect to remote healthcare, growing food security, and as the environment changes and hunting grounds and fishing grounds change, we see direct connections to what we're learning as an international collaboration to go back to the moon and eventually Mars, benefiting Canadians on the planet. And so we do think we can make some smart investments that will be dual purpose. And so I'm excited about that. And I definitely, regardless of what happens in my future, I want to be a part of enabling those future contributions because I think they matter.
Canadian Space Agency and Artemis II astronaut Jeremy Hansen, thank you so much for joining me. Join Jeremy in checking out our Facebook page, aboutspace.today, for launches and landings, and invite your family and friends to listen weekly. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, Libsyn, and more. Be sure to join David Denault twice a month for Special Report, and Don Meyer every Friday for America in Space. Whether you're listening on the International Space Station or just on your phone, thanks for joining me. I'm John Gomez, and you just learned a little bit about space today.